Hello, welcome to a brand new video. This is my channel. Now, if you could subscribe and leave a like down below, that would be very much appreciated. Now, to the video. Welcome to the video. I am doing a what if about Izuku or Deku. It's going to be what if Deku has ink sands, which you could tell if you looked at the picture. And obviously, this is not my picture. I just looked this up on Google. So, to start out, let's start with, okay, let's say this. When he was born really pale. So pale, in fact, it looked like his skin was comparable to a sheet of paper. But and also his eyes were colorless, and he had no eyes, whereas in his eye sockets. But there was a faint white glow in them, basically like a skeleton. Okay, now he will be able to teleport and all the other things a normal Sans could do, but he can also create things. I'm not going to list everything he can do, but you will find out. Now, let's go to the quirk. Let's go to when he went to the quirk doctor at the age of 4. Oh wait, I should probably tell you he also is slightly. Actually, no. He has no emotion. Yeah, he still wants to be a hero, but he doesn't have any emotions. Okay, now he gets to the Quark Doctor, and the Quark Doctor was amazed by how strong his quirk was, because obviously teleporting and creating things, as well as having attacks like that in a mutation quirk, was rare. And he was very happy, but, well, not happy. He was, let's see, well, he didn't really care, but his mother was happy that he had such a strong quirk. So and Katsuki Bakugo never bullied him, but he's still an a-hole. Oh, And let's start the end of middle school. When the teacher walks in, he starts by saying, "Okay, now class, we have to let me hand out these papers to so you can fill out what you want to be when you grow up." And then he throws out the papers and says, "Who am I kidding? You all want to be heroes." And everyone got super excited and used their quirks, except for Izuku. Izuku really didn't care at all. Katsuki Bakugo, on the other hand, says, "Don't let me in with the rest of these losers. They'd be lucky to get in with some D-listers." And Izuku didn't pay any mind to this. And then the teacher says, "Well, there's two people who are trying out for UA." And everyone were thinking two people. Why two? Who else would be there? Because they knew Katsuki Bakugo was definitely going to try out for UA. But Izuku never really used any of his powers or abilities on his quirk much, because he never really needed to. And then the teacher read off, "Well, Katsuki Bakugo." They weren't surprised at all. And then they said, "Izuku Midoriya." Everyone was surprised at this. This pissed off Bakugo a little, but he didn't say much about it. Then we go on to Izuku deciding to walk home to think about things. And on his way, the sludge villain comes and attacks him. And Izuku just teleports and then creates a glass or a bottle, and using telekinesis, yes, he has telekinesis, to put the slime in the bottle and closing the cap. And then All Might arrives, asking is Deku where if he's seen a sludge villain. And Izuku hands him the bottle. And All Might says, "Did you catch him yourself?" And Izuku simply says, "Yes." Izuku in this doesn't ask for an autograph or anything, or even try and grab onto All Might's leg. So he doesn't know about All Might's injuries or anything. Later, when Izuku is still walking home, he hears explosions, and confused, he walks over. And I said emotionless. Confusion. Being confused isn't an emotion. Because being emotionless means emotions confuse you and you don't understand them and you don't have them. So, okay. And he walks over to and see Bakugo suffocating in the sludge villain. Now Zuhu, even though he is emotionless, he still wants to be a hero, and he says he thinks to himself, if he gets seen saving Bakugo, he might get some uh like he might have an easier time being a hero because he's already been seen saving someone or something like that. So he goes up and walks straight towards the sludge villain, and everyone's trying to push him back. All the pro heroes are, and he just teleports right in front of the sludge villain, and the sludge villain just says, "Not you again! Get away from me!" And Izuku just compresses the slime villain into a ball with his telekinesis. And traps him in a vial. And everyone is amazed and asks him what his name is. And he says, "My name is Izuku Midoriya." Obviously, so he could be identified later, so it could be seen that he has already saved someone before he's even entered UA. So people could see he has potential. And then, as soon as he answers, he teleports back home, not wanting to have to deal with anything else. Now for the next month, 10 months, actually, All Might tries and finds his house because he is amazed with how strong this kid is and thinks he might be a good successor. And when he told Izuku about his quirk and everything, Izuku plain refused the quirk. Because he didn't need it. So, in this one, Mirio gets the quirk. And now nothing too eventful besides him trying to find something that would make him feel anything. He's still doing that. but not really much. He doesn't train or anything because he doesn't need to. Then let's skip ahead to the beginning, which would be the entrance exams. Now, Izuku starts uh, when he gets there. He gets first place on the written correct, even going so far as to correct problems that weren't that were that Nezu made uh basically Nezu made some trick questions that need to be correct. You needed to correct the question before you could answer it. And and he corrected all of those. And then we go to the physical exam. Now, when Ida sits there and sits there, when Ida blurts aloud that, well, President Mike is explaining that they haven't said anything about there's 4 robots and he's only described 3, and then he points to Izuku and says, and you are creeping everyone out. Just quit giving that expression. And Izuku stands up and turns around, looking straight at Ida in a cold tone says, shut up. And this frightens Ida a bit. So he quickly shuts up and sits back down, shivering. And Deku sits back down, and Mike continues the speech. And just as about when it's about to start, Mike starts counting down. 3, 2, and before Mike says 1, Izuku teleports in to the arena, and Ida, even though he was framed by Izuku before, he says, hey, he's cheating. And then Mike says, what are you waiting for? Go follow that kid. There's no countdown in real life. And they all go, and Izuku starts out with just blasting some robots with gaster blasters while using a big paintbrush he has created from his back, or not from his back, but he created during battle, and started hitting some with it, and even going as far as to paint some, and he can manipulate the paint do stuff like portals and stuff. That's how he teleports. And then he makes and crushes and uses telekinesis a bit to crush some. Then he racks up a lot of points, around like, let's say 300 or 400. No, maybe. Well, let's just say, I don't, not an exact number, but he got higher than All Might, or the highest score that was ever reached in UA. And then, before he even got to hero points, and he heard a screaming coming from somewhere, and everyone was running away from the place. So he teleported towards it, and he sees Uraka about to be crushed by the robot underneath a bunch of rubble. Well, she can't move at all, so he uses his telekinesis to stop the robot from moving. And then he straight up just let's say he just makes a giant gaster blaster about the size of the robot's head and blasts the robot, and all that was left was its whole head and torso were gone. And using his telekinesis, he safely laid down the the part the parts that were left of the robot, and then he just lifts off the heavy rubble off Araka. No power, because he is a little bit stronger than normal. So he would be able to do that. And he picks up Araka and teleports with his paint to Recovery Girl. Now, a couple weeks after the entrance exam, he gets a card from or a mail, and this little projection that shows and tells him that he got the highest score in UA history, and that he was in class 1A. So, next day, he goes to UA and finds his classroom. And says so. And when Uraka thanks him, and he doesn't respond. And Ida, upon seeing Izuku, immediately sits down and shuts up from fighting with Bakugo to get his feet off the desk because he is scared to even remotely annoy Izuku because of the look or and tone he saw Izuku use. He is scared to, it scarred him. So that's already settled. And Aizawa comes into class in a sleeping bag, and someone goes and say Kaminari and Jiro go up, and a couple others go up and say it's a caterpillar and poking it with a stick, and Izuku says it's our teacher. And when he actually before he says that, he teleports right behind it, picking it, saying it's our teacher. He shakes the bat, shakes it not lightly though. He shakes it he shakes it violently, and says, "Get the hell up." As Zaiwa uh, a little bit thrown back by this, just stands up and says, okay, everyone. Take these and go down to training field E. We're going to do a quirk apprehension test." Everyone started complaining and about the orientation, and Aizawa says, "We don't do that. We don't follow traditional. So this is, you are future heroes, so you better learn not to waste your time on stupid things like that." And they all, and then when they all get down there, Aizawa hands the ball to Izuku. Now, and then tells him to throw the, ask him what his throw was in middle school, and Izuku says 750 meters because he has super strength which he can't really control. So, and Aizawa says, "Okay, now you use your quirk." And Izuku just throws the ball and uses his telekinesis on the ball, making it get infinite. And he beats everyone on everything. So he gets first place in that. Oh wait, uh, yeah, and no, it doesn't really matter. So no one gets kicked out or anything. And then I think that's where I'm gonna leave this part off. Next time I'll get into the hero versus villain battle trials or whatever. Okay, bye.